Welcome to Power Hour, where the editors of Powersports Business interview the movers and shakers of the powersports industry.
Hi, everybody. It's Brendan Baker with Powersports Business and another Power Hour. And we've got a superstar leader from Denago Powersports, David Garibyan. He's the GM of Denago Powersports and really the mastermind behind Denago and where their relatively short lifespan of a couple of years ago you had zero dealers, and now they've grown quite exponentially. And but yeah, David, thank you for coming on. And how's everything going today? How's everything at Denago Power Sports?
Well, hello, Brendan. Thank you for having me on the Power Hour. Super excited to be here, and thank you again. But definitely very excited, and everything at Denago is going well. We're doing tremendous things here, big things, and things are going well. I mean, we've had a great start to the year, and we think this is definitely going to be our breakout year, 2026. So we're excited.
Yeah, 2026. I mean, there's kind of mixed, I guess, headwinds and challenges, and what people think's going to happen. But I think there's always room for new players and people who are making a splash to make a statement. And you guys have, over the last couple of years, really done that. I mean, you've gone from like zero dealers to 100 last year, and now you're up over 160, right?
Correct. Yeah, we're definitely growing pretty quickly, and we work the people that we have that work for me and for Denago Power Sports are tremendously talented people. I mean, all our RSMs, our our national sales manager Johnny Hayes, our marketing manager Kevin Duke, Steve Lawler, who kind of is semi-retired, just very talented people that work for our company, and because of those talented people, we've been able to grow so quickly, and also the brand as well.
Right. And I mean, those talented people, they've had a lot of success in other company, have been around the industry, so they kind of know where, what buttons to push, and what, who to talk to and where to go. So they've been pretty instrumental in help guiding the ship, I would assume.
Absolutely, it's that old saying: "It's not what you know, it's who you know."
That's right.
So,
Yeah, I mean,
so
that is the
that's
truth.
absolutely, and so with our RSMs and everybody just working here is just so talented, and they're such nice people, very passionate, driven people, as our whole industry is, because it's not a hugely profitable industry. It's not a money making thing for all of us. We're all driven by one thing, which is passion, and I tend to talk about that a lot. But definitely, it's growing. It's definitely growing, and these people who have come on, these the first first dealer that we signed up, to the first 100, to the 160, and growing now, really believe in the Denago brand and believe what we've said from the beginning. Okay, we're going to be the next big OEM, and just trust us and just take the leap of faith. And they've been doing it, and we've been right there, and uh, you know supporting what we said we were going to do from day one. So that was very important to us, is to stay true to our word. And we believe that 2.5 3 years into it now, we've everything we said we're going to do, so far we've done it.
Yeah, yeah, you guys have delivered, and I know when I saw you guys at AIMExpo, we spoke for a little bit there, and I also spoke to one of your dealer of the year. There
Oh
was
yeah.
Mac Johnston
Oh
from
yeah.
I think he's from Minnesota, somewhere Rush City. I
That's
asked him
right.
about, like,
That's
what's
right.
Rush City like. He's like, it's a little tiny town, but he's like a top dealer for
He
you
is a
guys
top tier
because
dealer.
you
That's
know
right.
I'm I think that certain area, again, he what one of the things he told me was that um, because there were like Polaris dealer, a lot of Polaris, a lot of BRP already that he had. Denago was kind of like his big brand, that he went in with. So that was, people were coming down the road, maybe from some of those tier one type OEMs, and going, hey, this is affordable. And now that you've got like a UTV that
Oh
just
yeah.
came out too. So tell me a little bit about the UTV that you guys just launched.
Sure, and I'll back up a little bit. I mean,
Yeah,
Mac Johnson and also his wife Megan, just incredibly nice people. And, I've known them for many, many, many years now. And the opportunity that we had when we brought Denago on, it was really funny. I guess he watched a video of ours. I think the first one you and I did together,
oh
actually.
yeah,
And he watched it. Apparently in his bed while sleeping at night, like while going to bed at night, and
yeah.
then he was like, "Oh my God, that's David! I know him." So next morning, I was driving to work. He calls me. He's like, "Hey man, I just saw your video. What is the Nago?" So I told him about it, and immediately he was ready to go, and he signed up to become a dealer. And since then, obviously last year for 2025, both Mac and Megan are our number one dealer across the country. So they did terrific with our brand, and they've been very profitable, and they did a great job also representing our brand, including heydays, which they sold
That's right.
a lot of
Yeah,
units. Yeah, so they're a very good family run business, and really that's what we like to see, right? The underdog, the small dealership, mom and pop type of a deal, just grow and grow and grow. And I heard he was actually going to start bringing on big brands. Actually, I'm not going to say who they are, but he's bringing on some
yeah.
big
There's
brands.
rumor he's going to try to
There's a
get a
rumor.
bigger
Yeah,
brand in there, but I
that's
think
right.
all that, even if there is, you don't have to be an exclusive Denago dealer to be
Correct.
successful at it,
Yeah.
right? It's good to have options and choices. So a lot of these multi-line dealers are carrying Denago, going, well, hey, if you don't like that price, or that's a little bit, everyone's got to have something to fit their budget and their needs.
Yeah, and absolutely, and that's what I think is really cool about the brand. But I think back to him, I think the Nago really for him was kind of also part of that growing and stepping stone, as you could say. He's obviously he was doing other brands before, and then now he kind of graduated to the Denago Powersports, and then soon he's going to be bringing on a larger brand. So we're very proud of them. They're just a great family dynamic there, and they do a great job of representing our brand, and we wish nothing but the best for them and for them to grow not only with us but other brands. So why not?
Yeah, right. I mean, a dealer's success is really ends up helping, it lifts all boats, as they would say.
Absolutely, absolutely, for sure. I
Yeah.
mean, it does. But now back to our side by side. Yeah, we're super happy about our Ranch Hawk 650, and as you said before, we launched it at the AIMExpo 2026 here about a month ago. And honestly, for us, we brought this vehicle on. We knew it was going to be a hit. We knew it was going to be a good vehicle because myself and the team at our factory, we put a lot of work into this vehicle and making sure that it had the right componentry and features that's going to make this vehicle appealing to the masses here in America, and at a price point that's going to be very, very attractive. And so that was always the
I'm gonna
thought.
put it on
And
the screen here real quick so that everyone can see it. And
absolutely, yeah,
there's
go
our buddy
ahead.
Kevin Duke. So,
That's right. That's
but
right.
yeah,
And so we knew we thought and we were hoping that it's going to be a pretty successful unit, and we thought that when people see it, they're going to be excited about it, and it really did turn out to be really good. At the first allocation of these side by sides were about 100 pieces, and during the course of the show, we sold all 100 in 2.5 days, basically. So it was amazing to see how fast the dealer network that we currently have adapted to it, and they were like, oh yeah, you know what, we'll take it. And I think for us, because we've done a good job of maintaining our core values of Denago and what we said that was going to be and what was set from day one, the dealers automatically, without kind of thinking about it, said, hey, you're bringing on a $10,000 side by side, okay, we'll take it. There was no questions, there was no answers, and it was just very, very surprising to see that. But it was very reassuring that, hey, you know what, we're doing the right things and we're offering the right type of product to the dealers and to the consumers. So we're very excited.
oh yeah. I mean, and from what I understand, you guys had just before AIM just barely gotten them and we're building them, right before the show. You were like really working hard to get them on the show floor, right? So,
Yeah, yeah. Basically, I believe on Wednesday was the last day you could bring units into the Ames Expo, and I think it was cut off at 3 o'clock. And so I received that side by side at my warehouse in Chino at 12 o'clock. So I literally had a few hours to put it together, and all my guys were at lunch. So I was like, you know what, screw this. I'm just gonna go and start assembling it myself, and I had to get it done, and I put it out. I got it. Some of the guys came back from lunch. They helped me out a little bit, and we put it on my truck and trailer, and I just hauled as fast as I could to Ames Expo to make it before the cutoff period. But it was pretty good. I mean, the only thing I
yeah.
didn't do was install the windshield, but other than that, I
Oh,
had it
okay.
pretty much
Yeah,
fully built.
yeah.
And when I got to the show, our sales reps were nice enough. They helped me. They actually went ahead and put on the windshield. But
They can
other
get
than that, yeah, it was very crunch time. I didn't think we were gonna make it there for a little bit. It was kind of scary.
Yeah, but you know what? Having it there, I mean, it was a big push. I mean, we got a lot of views after we posted that story. We had a lot of views on it, a lot of people asking about it. So I think, full featured like that, when you compare it with, say, Polaris's, what did they have?
570.
Like their 570, that's like 10 grand as well.
The
But
Ranger, yeah.
that thing, it doesn't have nearly the features like what this has. So, and it's, you know so yeah, I mean, I think it's a home run. I think that, and again, dealers are going to love the fact that they've got support. you know with your team, you got a solid team behind it with parts and accessories and all that kind of stuff. So, I think it's going to be a big, especially in we know that the demand for power sports hasn't really dropped. It's more or less what people can afford and are willing to spend money on at this point. So, um,
Absolutely, absolutely.
what do you see, like, some of the current climate with affordable power sports in 26? What is your projection for power sports this coming year? I know you guys think you're going to be up, and I mean, which I think that's probably pretty sure. But do you think that overall power sports will be up, or is it going to be flattish? What are your
I think you'll definitely do good. I think this year will be a pretty strong year for I think the industry as a whole, because I think overall the economy is doing well, and I think that whatever the economy and the stock market is doing well, this type of, let's call it, luxury item or toys, as I kind of like to say, always does well. And I mean, for me and for our brand, for Denago, it's always been value driven, and it, on top of that, bringing in several newer, bigger models that we said we were going to do for a long period of time for sure is going to help us. But I feel as a whole, as an industry, it should be a good year. I'm confident that most manufacturers and dealers will do well this year.
And I think we've seen a shift too with MIC stating how a lot of buyers have shifted to smaller displacement vehicles and things. So it's not like you need a giant, uh, you know, a Razor Turbo or anything like that. Something that is right in the sweet spot, which is at
Absolutely.
650. Or you've also got some new ATVs. You got a new the 350, which is the one I saw. It was just on the screen here that we saw at AIMExpo that Kevin was talking
Yeah,
about.
at Ames Expo we had 350 and 500. But going back to what you said to other manufacturers, like one thing I felt like Can-Am BRP did was, which was very very smart, is they launched their new Maverick, right? Which is, I think about a couple of years ago they launched it. It had the new
Yeah,
DCT transmission and all that. Very expensive, obviously
yeah,
very high technology type of unit. But they also kept their old Maverick X3, which I thought was an incredibly very good platform as it is. But they kept both. Of course, it's a little hard to keep two different platforms for manufacturers and stock and all that type of things.
Yeah.
But the affordability stays there because you know what? You don't, sometimes a consumer doesn't need the latest and greatest and the best of the best super high end performance, but they do still need something that's very tried and true and is very, very high quality. And the old generation Maverick X3 was that and is that. So
Yeah.
I felt like that was a very, very strong move. But, you know, so I feel like the value in having valued products that are tried and true is always going to be a winner. Like some of the big brands like Kawasaki, right? They've had the Kawasaki Mule for how many years? Probably as old as I am.
Yeah, it's been
You
around
know?
forever. Yeah,
Forever, right? But tried and true works perfect.
probably as
It's
old
not-
as I am. I'm older than you, so
Yeah, exactly. So hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, man. And
yeah,
and it's just that type of mentality, which I think definitely will work. You know, I love high performance, right? I love like the new Polaris electronically controlled sway bars. Amazing technology.
Sure.
A lot of
but that comes
research
with a
and
price tag that not everybody needs that.
not everybody needs it. Like, it's cool to brag within our friends and say, hey, I have the better one than you and this and that.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, that's all well and good, but not every time you need that. And so for these manufacturers to still have value type vehicles, even as a competitor, right? Polaris with their with their Ranger 570, I think it was a great move for them to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it did set the table, I think, for what, it seemed like it was more consumer driven, which I think is probably happening more and more now. Because sometimes it's like, oh, hey, let's come out with another $50,000 side by side. Yeah, those are great, and only you're going to sell, X amount of those, and they probably make good margin. But how many are you really going to be able to sell those things? Those are more the what gets people in to look at the other stuff.
Absolutely, and vice versa sometimes too.
Yeah.
Sometimes a lot of our dealers will bring on Denago because of their the lower end price points that we have on our small ATVs and small dirt bikes, where before a customer would walk into a traditional power sports multi-line power sports dealer, and the minimum they will be able to spend on an ATV will be like $4,000, a kid's four-wheeler, right? But now with Denago they could spend like $2,000 and it's half the price. So they're like, okay, well that brings people in the door. And some people will be okay with spending $2,000 on a newer brand like Denago, but some won't. But it doesn't matter. What the important thing is getting the people to come into the dealership and actually experiencing the dealership experience, and also trying out new and cool different products, and then on top of that you have accessories and all this and all that kind of goes with it. So it's really, really important to have that value line product, just like the example that we use with Honda and Acura and Lexus and Toyota, and so it's the
having
same
the
thing.
premium brands of their, so there are the premium brands, and they are premium for a reason. They do. But there's that lot of room in that market, especially in the utility market, in in side by sides and in ATV, which are more utility focused too.
Absolutely.
That are definitely more price. They want to have a lot of those features. Which that Ranch Hawk 650 has an incredible amount of features.
Oh yeah.
For the price point on it, and same with the Freelander. 350 and 500, all that whole series is incredible for an ATV, especially somebody that's maybe entering into the market new, or they just are going to use it for hunting and different things. They're not necessarily, you're not going in the GNCC with it,
Correct.
But maybe you'll do that someday.
Maybe you'll do that, but I mean, for us, trust me, I really wanted to build sport ATVs and sport side by side. Obviously, that's more cooler and more attractive, right?
Oh, yeah,
of course.
To say, like, hey, I got
yeah,
but
of course, but where is the market? Where is the sales? Where is the demand? And that is for workhorses like the Kawasaki Mule, and also just like ours, the Ranch Hawk 650, right? So those are the type of vehicles that we want to be known for, to have reliable, solidly priced, solidly built vehicles that, hey, you know what, we want consumers to say, hey, you know what, I have this Denago for 5 years, I have this Denago for 7 years. And yeah, maybe it's not the most flashy or sexy unit like you said, but you hit the key, turns on, and does what it needs to do. And that's and also on top of that, having some cool features that the others didn't have.
Right.
So that's kind of where we're at.
And having dealer support, behind
That's
it.
the critical. That's super critical. Yeah.
Because we know there are value brands out there that may be able to undercut even you guys, but
of course
they don't have any. There's you buy it off the internet, and then what? Where do you get parts?
Absolutely. Like one of our sales reps, Kenny Cook, always says, "Race to the bottom," right? So
right.
we could be racing to the bottom, but that's not what we want to do. That's not our passion. That's not what we set out to do. So. Yeah, we're excited about the Ranch Hawk. I think that's going to be an incredibly good vehicle. I mean, we think the Freelander 350 is going to be a tremendously good vehicle too.
It looks awesome. It looks incredible.
It is. And I'll kind of touch base a little bit on those line of vehicles, right? So we call those the second generation of vehicles. Okay. So like the Ranch Hawk 650, the Freelander 350, and the Freelander 500, and some of the other newer stuff, like we have a new Freelander coming out, Freelander 200, which we showed at the show as well. So those are we call those Generation 2 vehicles. And what I mean by that is they're built with a different set of specifications and a different set of engineering quality. Okay.
Well, you're the engineer type, so of course you've got to label that stuff as that's our Gen 2,
Yeah, it's the cool thing to say nowadays, right? But yeah, it's our second generation. They're built to a different standard. The level of engineers that we have working now on the product are much higher quality engineers. They're a lot more professionals. They actually come from the industry, okay, and they worked for some bigger brands before, so they know that these type of vehicles have to be built a certain way, and the demand that's on these vehicles, it's a certain type of a demand, especially when you go into adult type vehicles, not just children's ATVs. So what I will say to
between a youth ATV or a youth vehicle and the adult ones, not that kids aren't, but they're the adult ones, they can really put some stress and strain on them.
Absolutely. So the idea was to when we make these vehicles, we make them much better and much stronger. So when they do come out, they'll be in showroom floors here this year. And I encourage not only the dealers, but also the consumers who are listening to this podcast here to go and just check the vehicles out, just to touch and feel and see how the vehicles are. And they will see the quality of the vehicle just by looking at it is there, and then all the work that we put in internally. So yeah, that's our Gen 2 vehicles, and we're very, very proud of those vehicles.
You've got a lot of color options too.
Oh yeah.
So which is also something unusual in a especially in something that's at a price point like it is. You're like, what? I can get like 6 different colors in it, and
Absolutely.
So that's pretty sweet.
The idea between the having a lot of colors was that we didn't want to limit ourselves, right? So the idea was a little selfish, but it was kind of like this, which was in the beginning, especially for the little kids ATVs. Hey, you know what? The dad's a lifelong Yamaha guy, right? So we gotta have a blue. Yeah, and if they they're a Honda guy, so the son's gotta have a red or a Suzuki yellow or something like that. So that was a little selfish on our behalf, but because we look to those bigger brands.
Yeah.
We look to those bigger brands. We want to be one of those bigger brands.
Right.
So we didn't, the Denago Orange.
For the dads that are saying, I got a Honda and I'm not going to buy but I'm going to buy this Denago for my kid who may not really be into riding yet, but it'll match its stuff. You put it on the trailer.
Absolutely.
It'll look cool. It'll match all his stuff. Think about that.
It's a marketing thing in that aspect, and also the brand identity, right? Well, our brand color is orange, right? Yes, we could have an orange ATV and we can make it look cool, but you know what? In the beginning, it's not a known thing. You're not known, and your colors are not known. So for us, we didn't want to just have one color that kind of fits all. I would like, hey, you know what? We can do this, and we could do this fairly inexpensively. So why not?
Why not?
Then Yeah, why not? And then when we graduated to the pink color for some of our small ATVs, that was just like
That's
a
great. Yeah,
ballpark. It
yeah.
was just a winner. And so we're excited. We're very, very
And that's
excited. Like
a lot of those you were showing me the E-Hawk. What is the little kid one? The E-Hawk
that's the E-Hawk 6.
6. Okay. And that one's pretty surprising. I mean, I actually would love something like that around my campground, and I'm, 160 pounds or whatever. But, now you're going to come out with a bigger E-Hawk, right?
Yes,
That,
yes, we have a bigger one coming out. It's a secret, but I guess it is definitely coming out. We have a larger size. So basically, the EHawk 6, the 6 stands for Y6 for U6 model, and then we have a bigger one coming out, which is going to be the EHawk 10, which is for Y10. That will have a greater capacity. It'll be a much more powerful vehicle, and it will have a much more higher end top speed, and so it'll be all around a bigger
kind of an
vehicle than.
intermediate level type, and not a full grown, not like
No,
it'll
it's
still be
it's
a kid,
basic.
a youth,
Oh yeah, it's still a
but
youth vehicle, and it's basically a similar size to like the Trailhawk 10 and the Mudhawk 10 that we have.
oh,
It's
okay.
very similar in size, but for us to adapt to 100% adult size electric vehicles, we don't really feel like that the market is there for that, and so
No,
we didn't
not yet.
want to spend the engineering and the development time on that. So we thought for us the eHawk 6 sells pretty good. It's a good vehicle.
It's a great vehicle. It's surprisingly great. I mean, not that it's a surprise, but
No,
you're
no,
just
it
like
is. It is surprising. You're
underrated.
right.
You're just like, wow, this thing is can really do a lot of things, and for a little kid's toy, you're like, wow, I can't wait to see the E-Hawk 10. You know,
Absolutely. For us, believe it or not, too, the eHawk 6 was kind of a little bit of a surprise. We didn't really know how we was going to do because it was
just
so
really smooth and it's got a lot of torque.
torque, yeah. And
Yeah,
we didn't know. We were like, okay, we don't know how this vehicle is going to do, how it's going to be adapted to it. But the what I always say to everybody is like, hey, you know what? If your consumer is a little hesitant about going electric, let them sit on it and drive 15 feet across your showroom floor, okay?
yeah.
And after 15 feet, if they're not sold, then they don't want it. They're never going to be sold.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool vehicle. I mean, you drove that thing a couple
I
of
did.
times,
I
so
loved it. I thought it, like I
yeah.
said, I thought it was amazing, and I think that is an underrated segment that I think is going to grow. You're right though. The EV side, the electric side, isn't there yet, and the part, there we've seen some players in it, and I would say you guys are in it to some degree. But I mean, on the motorcycle side and even on the ATV side, there's really only what BRP's got they've got one,
ATV.
the Outlander EV, which is
Yeah.
I hear it's pretty cool, but it's also got a pretty big price tag on it. You know, so, but I think that's a growing segment in the years to come. Not right now. Right now, we're
Oh
not
yeah.
seeing those numbers.
For
Um,
sure, and for us too, and to your point, which was we want to start off small where it would make sense, right? Because like one thing, and I've talked about this before, is when it comes to youth models, especially like the Y6 category and Y10 category, it could be that it's these children's first ATV, right?
yeah,
And it's their first time getting on a machine like that. So when they get on a gas powered vehicle, the sound, the vibration, sometimes scares them.
yeah,
And
oh yeah,
as much as macho dads and moms that we have are like, oh, our kid's gonna do all this, but no, in reality, they sometimes get scared. So having something electric that's quiet, that's relatable to kids nowadays, it being electric, I think was the right move.
I mean, my nephew who's 6 years old, my brother got him we race go karts and stuff, and so we got him a go kart. Well, my brother got him a go kart to race, and he's like really sensitive to noise and loud sounds. He loves cars, loves
Yeah,
racing and all that, but he can't. The sound really scares
scares.
and puts him off. So he won't ride. He doesn't want to drive the go kart because it's too loud. And I feel like,
Yeah,
man, if he had an electric option, like I think that E6 or something, he'd get on that and be in love because it's quiet, it's smooth. He still can do, he knows how to drive and do all that. It's
yeah.
just, he doesn't like the sound, you know.
Absolutely. The noise and the vibration scares kids.
Yeah.
I've noticed that. And even with my son, when he was just starting out, I would notice that with him too. Like, even interestingly enough, I put him in my side by side when I got my side by side, and he was sitting as a passenger, and we're just cruising around. He was okay with it, but as soon as I got on the throttle and I tried to clip some big dunes with it, he really got scared. So I was
Yeah.
like, okay, you know what? There is something to be said about children and sound and vibration. So
Yeah.
it made sense. The E-Hawk
Yeah.
definitely makes sense.
Absolutely. So, rounding this out here, let's talk about some of your events you're going to this year. It looks like coming up in May, you're going to Lone Star Overland Adventure and Power Sports Show. You want to tell us about some of the events you've got coming
Oh
up?
yeah, yeah,
Where
definitely.
people can
So
come see you
so
guys, some dealers and consumers and whoever wants to come out, you know?
Absolutely. We're going to have a little section on our website where it says events, and any consumer or any dealer that wants to see our product can just click on that event tab, and they will see every show we're going to be attending. But this year, for me, I told my staff and also Kevin, our marketing director, which was like, hey, you know what? I want to push Denago as hard as I can on the marketing side of things. So let's go ahead and spend some time and money on these shows. These are very, very important shows, getting in front of the consumers, because in the beginning I didn't want to push that hard because we didn't have the dealer network to support these type of shows. Even if a consumer comes and sees your product and says, oh, that's great, I want to buy it, where are they going to buy
Where
it
they're
from?
going to get it. Yeah.
Right. So it didn't make as much sense. But now I think because we're over 160 dealers, actually soon to be almost 180 dealers across the country, we have the dealers
You
spread.
have them in
And
pretty much every region, right? You've got,
that's right. That's right. And very good quality dealers on top of hand-picked very good quality dealers. So I said, hey, you know what, this year we're definitely going to push hard on that. We definitely have a lot of shows coming up. We're excited about SEMA. That's going to be a
that's a
big
new
show
one for
for
you
us.
guys, right? I love
Yeah.
SEMA. I've been going to SEMA, the story. My dad went to the first SEMA in
Oh, really?
'67. Yeah, he was an editor like me for a trade, as a speed magazine, a racing type trade
Oh,
magazine.
really?
And he went when it was under Dodger Stadium,
Oh,
so
wow.
yeah, and he went for years. I went to SEMA for like 20 years. So, and as much as I love cars, there's a lot of bikes, there's a lot of power sports there, there's a lot of UTVs there. A
It's
lot.
the way I kind of see it. It's our demographic, right? These
Yeah.
type of people are all gearhead type people. They
Oh
enjoy
yeah.
riding. They like going fast. They like wrenching on their stuff. So it's our demographic, and sure, it's a huge thing to go to SEMA. It's a big outtaking for us. I mean, it's a lot of work and it's very expensive, but for us, I feel like as a growing and emerging brand, we have to
You
put
know where you
ourselves out
guys are going to
there.
be located? Are you going to be up in
Uh,
the tire where they do the overlanding stuff and the
I'm not sure. I think I have to check the map on that. We had originally requested to be somewhere outdoors. I don't know exactly what they're gonna do, but from what I heard, they were gonna have a special, like, kind of a place or a pavilion for power sports type people and
okay?
OEM. So I think that would be really cool if they could
They've
do
been
that.
trying for a lot of years to do, it's moved around. Like back in the day, they had a big power sports section, and I was trying to help with that, but it was too early at that time, I think. But I think it's the SEMA crowd has matured more. There's a lot more segments, so they really want to get, a I know they're really chomping at the bit to get power sports in there. So I think the more people that can support it, and I know I've seen Articat there, a few of the bigger names,
Oh
but
yeah.
it's a great place especially for off road. For
Oh,
your ATVs and dirt bikes. I mean, for all your whole product line will fit in perfectly there. So
absolutely. I mean, it makes a lot of sense, and one of the reasons why I wanted to actually have it outdoors is because I wanted to set up like a little track, possibly, so kids or not too many kids,
yeah.
but at least some adults can try around our E-Hawk, just like you tried our
Oh
E-Hawk,
yeah, you
because
could just ride
it's a
that
cool
little
little.
talk around, just yeah, see what it's like. I mean,
Yeah,
that would be, or the E10 if that's out by then, it'd be pretty cool.
it
But
would be pretty cool.
aside
So
from that, any of those things. I know the Arctic Cat had a test track. Um, at one year when they were out there, and I didn't get. Of course, being in the media, it's hard. I'm running around. It's hard to move around SEMA. Is my
Huge
biggest.
show.
It's just they've got the opposite problem that we have at some of the power sports shows. You just can't get from place to place very quick. There's so many people in the aisles.
It's I've never been. I've only seen videos of SEMA, but yeah, it's I heard terrifically huge and amazing shows. So we're very excited for that. Obviously, we have several other shows coming up. And
Sports, I know you've gone.
Sand Sport, that's a big show for us. That's we launched the brand at Sand Show, so that's
kind
in our
of
backyard.
The season, from talking to people out there, that's like the kickoff to the riding season in a lot of ways.
That's right.
California.
To the dune season. That's right.
Yeah,
And so I look forward to Sand Show, not because of us, mainly, but because it also starts our season, and we love going to the sand dunes here in Glamis and all those places. So it's fun. It's a great show. The environment is very relaxed, and the people who come are just very, very dedicated to riding. So it's a great show. It's a great show.
Well, it sounds like you guys have got a lot going on this year, and you're on the gas, and or on the electric switch, whatever you're on both.
Yeah.
You're on gas and electric at the same time. So yeah, but yeah, keep it up, man. You guys have done great things, and we love being able to support you in any way we can, and we love the underdog, and I think
of course
you guys have definitely surpassed a lot of people. It's like you've really been on it in these last few years. So, and I look forward to what's coming ahead.
Oh, well, I want to say, Brendan, from day one, definitely Power Sports Biz has been a huge part of our success and promoting Denago and understanding our vision for the future.
Well, thanks. Well, we've tried to. I think I saw early on that you guys had a really good product mix, and kind of the team behind you really sold me too. Like I said, you got so many experts in all that. So yeah, good luck and congrats on all the success and getting more dealers.
Thank you.
Next time we talk, you'll probably have like 300 dealers. So
well, listen, fingers crossed.
By then,
Fingers crossed. I can tell you, if we have 300 dealers next time we talk, we'll have a giant celebration party.
All right,
I can tell you
definitely.
that much. Yeah. So thank you again, Brendan, for everything, for all your support, and also your staff support too. You guys have been very, very supportive of Denago, and we're very fortunate to be in this place. And not only including you guys, but also our dealers and our consumers who've adapted and brought Denago on with hands wide open. So really thank you, everybody.
That's awesome. All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
If you like this podcast, please like, share, and subscribe. We also invite you to connect with us on powersportsbusiness.com.